The problem that this runs into is that people are upset that people want a game, and they're like, why are you complaining about a book? It's because a lot of Halo fans don't read the books. That's okay. That's not a bad thing.
The Halo universe is filled with wonder, mystery, and fascinating discoveries around every corner. With so much to explore, four friends decided it was about time that they boot up their consoles and discuss this universe that has grabbed their attention since childhood. JumperScape Audio kindly welcomes you to join them in the library.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Library, the show where we talk about Halo lore. I'm Austin, and everyone else is gone. Connor will join us in like 10 minutes, probably. My brother is late. I can't afford to wait for him. So we're here to talk about the things that I have on my mind today, and for now, it's just me and good old Jimmy. Everyone loves Jimmy. I think people pointed out that Jimmy was recently in the community playdate thing that they did, this community update. They were messing around with Jimmy off in the back corner, and, and I freaked out that they kidnapped him. But Jimmy is here, and he'll keep me company as we get started on today's show. As always, we are now doing this show live in our Discord, so we have folks that are tuning in live in our stage channel and in the chat. So if every now and then you see me glancing down at this laptop, it's not just because I'm looking at sources, it's because I'm also taking a look at what everybody is saying here in the show. So if you haven't tuned in yet, tuning in on Mondays at 6 p.m. EST is going to be the place that you want to do that, and I would love to see you. Otherwise, if you want to go to JumperScape.com to get yourself plugged into this community or find ways to support us, then you can always feel free to do that. Again, the merch store is down. However, that library ringtone did just go live today, so if you want to go and take a look at that and get yourself a nice little ringtone that is based specifically off of our intro. Special thanks again to Jafet Meza for allowing us to do that, because Keep What You Steal, his rendition of it, is probably my favorite out of all of the versions that you could find that are somewhat related to Keep What You Steal. Phenomenal work, and it really encapsulates the feeling of talking about lore, in my opinion, hence why we made it the intro. Otherwise, Chatternet Daily Halo Show still going, and the Halo Lo-Fi 24/7 stream that I will always promote is always there. But as for streams that I haven't promoted yet, then you might want to tune into the Mod Spotlight that we've been doing, the Mod Showcase streams that we've been doing. We have 5 of them so far, where we're playing through Halo mods, not just mods that are like, we're not just playing them, we're playing the mods with the creators themselves, such as with, let's say, Altus and his Mercury Rising mods, or Connor Dawn and Mercury Rising, or most recently, we did Ultimate Firefight with Weaver 900, and those streams are fantastic. Who are you?
I'm Connor, and I'm late.
Hey, you know, you're late at the best time, because the show just started like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. We were caught up in conversation with the folks in chat.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
If you make a mistake in life, it's about how you bounce back.
Well, we are here to discuss some spicy content here, Connor.
What kind of spicy content?
Like the kind of stuff that's controversial.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not that. No, not that.
That's fun.
No. Although, no.
No. Okay, let me pull up the chat here.
Cool. So today, my friends, in order to get you guys all geared up here, recently there has been a interesting conversation happening online. And I am not a huge fan of most of the ways that Halo social media, not like Halo like their accounts, I'm saying Halo online, like everyone online. I don't like how they treat each other, and I don't like how they talk to each other, because there's a lack of understanding. And I want to see if we can clarify a little bit of that misunderstanding that happens.
All right.
So here's the deal. Halo made a post that said, yo, we're going to be doing a whole Waypoint Chronicle and like a whole collection novel, every single Waypoint Chronicle that we've ever produced, along with 5 extra ones, which is cool. That sounds awesome. And also, again, reminder, Edge of Dawn, authored by Kelly Gay, will be releasing later this year. And I'm like, cool. Sounds great. Sounds fire.
Sounds like a nice lineup.
Now, what do you think the Halo community responded with, Connor? Try to think of what Shane would say.
Oh, man. Well, it's about time, I feel like. I feel like that's something he would say. I don't
Oh,
know.
he would say, "Where's the games?"
Oh, yeah. yeah. Yeah.
And
Where are the games?
And I want to address that. I want to address some of that in this discussion today, because it is in fact true that people are rather upset in a big way. There's some people that are supportive. There are those that are, they read books. They do enjoy the Halo novels. But there's a very large group that is very much dedicated to reminding Halo that they are, in fact, a game franchise.
I'm one of those people.
Indeed.
As a consumer of video games, I don't like books.
Yeah, you and Shane are the special boys that I need on the show oftentimes, because you guys, straight up, in terms of Halo, you might ingest the odd movie once in a while.
Yeah, I like the visual
Yeah.
stuff. I'm a visual guy.
But for the most
Visual
part,
learner.
you're out here wanting to interact. You're wanting to play.
Yeah. I don't like interacting with pages.
So there's a couple things that I want to address with this. And the first thing that I want to do is address that there's a separation here, because there's been a comparison that's been made between Star Wars Battlefront and Halo.
We don't have a cry for the next Halo game.
Not in that way.
Not a massive movement.
But that's the thing. We don't need it. And I want to clarify why. You see, Battlefront has never gotten that third game. Never. Never has gotten a 3 slapped on there. I think Valve worked on it.
What?
I'm kidding. It's because they don't know the number 3.
Yeah, I know. That was my confusion.
And because of that, there has been that movement, the continuous movement, honestly. It's not just a movement that's like out of nowhere. If you've been playing Battlefront 3 almost every week like I have, you know that there's been a really consistent player base, especially on Wednesdays, because Wednesdays on Battlefront 2 is Triple XP Day every week. And there's been this revival of Battlefront 2 and 1, actually. I've been playing Battlefront 1 for like the last 2 weeks.
Like 2017 one?
Yeah, like older than that, 2015.
Oh, it was 15.
Yeah, the original, the original EA Battlefront.
I can't believe people are playing that.
They
honestly.
are, and they revived both games, and it's an astonishing thing. The reason why that was necessary, though, is because Star Wars is a franchise where no sequel is guaranteed, nor is it like a promise that they will do that, because Star Wars is a film franchise technically, and everything else is external content. Halo is in the same way, but in a different way. There's no guarantee that we'll get things like books. There's no guarantee that we'll get things like motion comics, movies, all this stuff. There is the guarantee, though, that because that Halo is a game franchise primarily, that there will be new games. So that comparison doesn't quite work for me, just because Battlefront is not a guarantee. A new Halo game, the reason why people are frustrated is because it should be a guarantee that it happens soon. And this is 2 games in a row now that has taken way beyond what the usual production cycle is for a Halo title.
Yeah. That and Halo hasn't had the level of controversy that Battlefront had.
Yeah, for real.
Like, laws weren't put into place after Halo came out.
Iconic addition to the gaming franchises. Yeah, because Halo, I brought it up before many times, but Halo from 2007 to 2016 was peak.
Yeah.
Because that was a new Halo video game experience every year. Allow me to count it off one more time, shall I?
Go ahead.
Cool. Halo 3. Halo Wars.
Ooh.
Halo 3 ODST.
What?
Halo Reach.
What?
2011 carried Halo Comedy Vault Anniversary.
What?
Halo 4.
What?
Halo Spartan Strike, you could actually say, but most people don't expect that and don't accept it.
What?
The Master Chief Collection and Halo 2 Anniversary.
What?
Halo 5.
What?
Halo Wars 2.
What?
And then you got jumped straight over to 5 years later with Halo Infinite, and then now we're still waiting for the next game. With no new game on the horizon, even, because they did the teaser and all that, but people are reasonably, I would say, upset. And I have a specific way that I want to address that. Very specific thing that I want to attack here. I'm using statistics.
Ooh.
Okay? Statistics, even.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Book sales are very hard to find. I couldn't find book sales for almost any novel, except for one, The Fall of Reach. A few of them, like a few statistics for The Fall of Reach. The first novel realistically should be the highest selling, I would think. because it even released before Combat Evolved. So like people will make that argument that Halo was a book franchise first. No, it was a tie-in novel. It's not the same thing.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it released in November 2000, I think.
I would love to know how well the sales did before the game came out.
I have no idea. I mean, it was really well marketed, so I wouldn't be surprised if people were like, "Oh," and then just picked up the book. Plus, it was back in that time when like electronics weren't like the big thing yet. So
Yeah.
But what we get, all right. I just want you to put this into perspective. The lowest selling Halo game of all time, Halo Wars 2, not counting like, Halo Infinite doesn't have sales. You can get that for free.
So it's kind of hard to do sales numbers when you have stuff available on Games Pass.
Yeah.
A game that's kind of running into that right now is Doom Dark Ages.
Yeah.
They're running into a huge, everyone's playing it for free.
Yeah. They have an interesting time splitting that up. But Halo Wars 2 was, like Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2 are pretty much nearly tied for the lowest sales. Whenever I checked sales figures last, someone in chat is saying it was 3 mil. I saw 2.2 mil. And when I was going and taking a look at as many sources as I possibly could, and I found some old articles that would talk a little bit about how excited they were about this. Mm-hmm. From 2000 to 2009, 9-year span. So just to put this in perspective, Halo Wars 2 probably made 2.2 mil to 3 mil, depending on if guy in chat is correct. Yeah. Thank you, Laird. That period of time was probably between like 2015, 2016, 2017 in that period. Mm-hmm. And then you have Halo: The Fall of Reach, the novel, 2000 to 2009. 1 million copies.
That's pretty good for a book.
It's good for a book.
In a video game franchise.
But that is significant. That's half of the people who have played the lowest popular game in the entirety of the Halo franchise. If we're talking about the most popular, Halo 4 sold the most copies. That one is like at $14 million in revenue. So it's just the amount that people play the games is clearly significantly more than the people who enjoy the books. And I say this as a person who collects the novels, owns all of them, multiple copies of them, actually, because I'm a freak, and I own, like, if we're talking about games, I own the Game of the Year version, Platinum Hits, and the original copies of, like, every single game that exists.
Even some random Japanese copy.
I can't even play those. They don't work on my consoles. I just have them.
My console isn't coded in Japanese.
So because of that, what we have here is this very, like, people who don't think of it this way, right? The problem that this runs into is that people are upset that people want a game, and they're like, "Why are you complaining about a book?" It's because a lot of Halo fans don't read the books. That's okay. That's not a bad thing. Like, it just doesn't pull in people. If you're a Halo game fan, more than likely you were growing up in the time when, it was like peak Halo, 2005 all the way up to like 2012, Halo at its absolute peak. And okay, I have to interrupt everything that I just said because what Keith just asked. Yes, you are a fan if you don't read them. Being a Halo fan just means that you're a fan of something with Halo. It doesn't mean that you're a fan because you accept everything and you love everything that Halo provides you.
Honestly, if I hear people that read them, I'm like, oh, that's a super fan.
Yeah, like they care a lot, obviously, because like basically something grabbed them in whenever they were playing the games. And like, I want to know more about that, and so they go and find the books, and if they care about that. Mm-hmm. But you don't need the books to play the games. And I think that was part of the business model even to do things like Halo 5 and Halo Infinite. Halo 4 didn't really need anything else like extracurricular. Mm-hmm. But Halo Infinite especially needs like 2 novels and Halo Wars 2 to fully understand what is going on.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't either.
I like to be able to spawn and know that I've got a fresh story and a fresh experience, and then to figure out that I open up a game or like later on I play the game like, oh, this happened before the game started. Mm-hmm. I've missed out. And then it's like, oh, I'll watch a YouTube video, and that's what happened.
And there was one person that brought up that Someone in chat distracted me just now. What about the people that are only fans of the TV show? Do we have to claim them? They are Halo fans that are misled.
They like a good TV show. Cough cough. Any one of our parents, probably.
Pretty much. The story of your dad and his journey with Halo is hilarious. But someone brought up earlier that the jump from Halo 5 to Halo Infinite without playing Halo Wars 2 or reading anything must be jarring. It is. I've brought up a couple times already that we have a fan somewhere, like a Halo fan somewhere in our server. Don't remember who their username is, but someone made the jump from Halo 5 to Halo Infinite. They don't like RTS games. That's one of the reasons why Halo Wars suffers so much, is because it doesn't please RTS fans because it's so simple and it's mostly designed for console.
Yeah, I'd love to say the setup is designed for a controller, not for having a numpad, all the numbers up top.
Yeah. And most games are like maybe 15 minutes these days because it's basically just a big game of rock, paper, scissors. There's nothing really complicated about it. It's not like Age of Empires. It's not like StarCraft. It's nothing like that. It's a very simple, dumbed-down version of an RTS game. So people just, on average, don't want to play, like, if they're RTS fans, they're not going to want to play that one because they would rather play something that actually tickles their brain a little bit better. But if they are, like, Halo fans, they don't want to play the RTS games. So, like, it's in this unfortunate thing where they're trying to convince people to play the RTS games, but two different crowds don't like the RTS games. So they're not going to play it. So they might more frequently go from Halo 5 straight to Halo Infinite. Let's talk a little bit about what happens in the behind the scenes, okay? How realistic this jump is. Are you ready for me to walk you through this?
I'm ready.
Halo Combat Evolved to Halo 2. Halo Combat Evolved. The Pillar of Autumn is under attack. We'll say Halo Reach to Halo Combat Evolved, actually. Halo Reach to Halo Combat Evolved. Halo Reach. Reach is under attack. You're playing as Noble Team. Noble Team must secure as much information as they humanly can. They have to secure Halsey. They have to get Cortana off-world. They have to defend Reach to their best of their ability, and they will ultimately fail. The Pillar of Autumn escapes with Cortana intact, immediately leans into Halo Combat Evolved. Halo Combat Evolved. Pillar of Autumn has escaped Reach, and it's found the first Halo, the Alpha Halo, and now that they found it, they're going to land on it to find out what's going on in there, and they're going to run into the Flood, they're going to fight a bunch of Covenant, and Chief is going to end up being the lone survivor, based on what we see in the game, the lone survivor that will blow up the Pillar of Autumn and escape on a ship. Halo Combat Evolved to Halo 2. Well, he obviously made it. He made it back home, and now he's getting accolades, he's getting rewards, and there's this other elite character that's getting... Yes, the Halo Arcade game counts. Fireteam Raven is fire. And in Halo 2, he's getting accolades. Arbiter, meanwhile, our titular Sangheili protagonist/antagonist for a little bit, he is getting reprimanded for the loss of Halo. So we have a little bit extra context for what happened in Combat Evolved from the perspective of the Covenant now. And then from the end of Halo 2, where we're about to have this big battle on Earth, and Arbiter just helped to secure the rings before they fired, and Tartarus has been killed, so now we're just down to the Prophet of Truth as our primary antagonist. Now we're going from Halo 2 to Halo 3. Starts immediately. Only like maybe a month of distance between those two things because of space travel. So now they are fighting on the surface of Earth, and they go from Earth, defending Africa and all that because it's getting absolutely wiped out by the Flood and such, to now going through the portal above Voy to the Ark. They go to the Ark, they fight there, they have to stop the rings from being fired because they can only be fired from the Ark. Now that we've stopped them, we've killed Truth, and everything has been secured, now we're going to go from Halo 3 to Halo 4. Chief has been in cryosleep for like 4 years. It's like 4 years, 7 months, something like that.
I think going in between games, that's a good way to transition.
We're in a good point right now.
That's a good transition right there.
So Halo 4 opens up. You're in cryosleep, and you wake up. Things are different. Makes sense. It's been 4 years, very, very long time, nearly 5 years. I was so close on that. Thank you, Fat Batman. 4 years, 7 months, and 10 days. I was going to say 14 because I was expecting, Bungie numbers.
He was ready to throw that stat out there.
Oh, there's some people that in here that I'm like, oh, you guys probably know more than I do. It's just I like to talk.
I get the feeling he knew that was coming and had that typed up before he even said it.
So Halo 4, we are exposed to this whole new universe. We're exposed to the new Covenant. We're exposed to the Prometheans and the Didact. And that's the thing, is that what we have now all of a sudden is the Prometheans are back. The Forerunners have returned. And the setup for that is actually kind of natural because Halo 3 teases that you're above Requiem. Requiem is in Halo 3. It's just people didn't catch it for a very long time. And then Halo 4, you have the setup of you're on Requiem. You meet the Didact. The Forerunners are back. You've heard about the Forerunners so much because what's helpful is the games have the context editions of Terminals. Terminals had the Didact. Terminals had the Librarian. These characters were already established in the previous title, and now they're being talked about and exposed and given characters in Halo 4. So all of this is fine. All of this is bridging very naturally. And Cortana sacrifices herself to save Master Chief at the end of Halo 4 in one of the most excellent, perfectly dramatic scenes that Halo's ever had, followed by a great conversation between Master Chief and Lasky about the reality of being a soldier and what it means to be human, how you can be a soldier and human at the same time. And then we get a jump in Halo 5. The jump here, not too much of a stretch still. Halo 4 ended with Master Chief basically having no problems to worry about. He's getting his armor taken off, and I guess that was the big thing there. And Halo 5 starts with him being reunited with Blue Team. Okay, when did Blue Team come back? Don't really need to know about that one. You can find out in probably a book somewhere. Then, when you're reunited, you are one mission deep into the campaign after you've taken out Jul 'Mdama, which, if you were playing Halo 4, if you were a dedicated video game player, you loved Spartan Ops. You really played it. Like, you played through the whole thing multiple times. If you were me, for example, when I was like 13, playing with Shane, we played through the whole thing of Spartan Ops like 3 times. I played it once through with Bryant on Legendary. I played it by myself on Legendary 5 times. I love Spartan Ops. It's a great experience. I just think the story is phenomenal and the cutscenes are great. It really helps, mitigate how repetitive the missions can be. But if you like Halo 4's gunplay, it's not that big of a deal. So then, when Halo 5 starts and Jul 'Mdama is killed in the very first mission, in the second cutscene of the game, well, now you're just kind of upset because you were really excited about Jul 'Mdama being this big thing because Spartan Ops Season 2 never happened. The planned Season 3 wasn't even in pre-production. So there you go. Now you're off to do whatever Halo 5 is doing next. The second mission, Master Chief goes AWOL. Okay, well, I guess he's going after Cortana now, and now there's a whole fire team of Spartans that are tasked to bring him in. So now Cortana is alive.
We gotta do what?
Cortana is alive. The domain has been reaccessed. Cortana is now in control of these things called the Guardians, and the Guardians are now being used as weapons to take over the galaxy by basically becoming a massive superliminal police force. And because of all of that, now you have to work to take down Cortana. So you fight back. You're protecting places like Meridian, and you're doing really cool stuff like going to planets like Genesis, running down the side of a Guardian, very cool stuff. And at the end, you save Master Chief as Fire Team Osiris, and Blue Team and Fire Team Osiris are reunited with Arbiter and Halsey, all on Sang Helios. They're gearing up to start getting ready to fight Cortana. So the battle against the Created has just begun. So then, Halo 5 to let's play around with it. Halo 5 to Halo Infinite. I was gonna say let's do Halo 5 to Halo Wars 2, but then I realized these are people who might not be playing RTS, statistically speaking. Halo 5 to Halo Infinite. Cortana died. She's been dead. And this is exposed in the second or third cutscene. Atriox is there. The UNSC Infinity that you've grown attached to for the last 2 games has been completely demolished, and by the looks of the cutscene, it was instantaneous. It took one very good hit from a ship to take it out. Just brute force straight through that thing.
Ha.
And Chief has been defeated by this big boy that, unless you have the subtitles turned on, you don't know what his name is. So this unnamed character has copied what the Arbiter in Halo Wars 1 said with the whole, "My face will be the last thing your eyes ever see," but more gruff and with a new actor. And then Chief is unleashed upon this ring that apparently houses as many survivors as we can get. And now our mission is to use this copy of Cortana to find out what happened since Chief has been asleep, and take out this other threat that apparently was Atriox's mentor, Escharum, and his army of Banished. And You'll learn about the Banished. You'll learn about who Escharum is and who Atriox is. Halo Infinite does set up all of that. Like, it does do a good job of using terminals and all of that to explain some of the background stuff. But by the end, it's gone full circle. Halo Infinite story goes in a circle, and you don't really learn much aside from, what happened, and that's kind of it. You have defeated the Harbinger. What did the Harbinger want to do? Bring back the Endless. Cool. What's the Endless? I don't know. So a lot of it is unanswered questions. But the biggest thing there, the biggest thing to point out is Halo 5 to Halo Infinite has no connective tissue outside of Cortana being a character, really. The created conflict exists strictly within novels. And I don't know why. So if we're talking about the effect that novels have had on games, what people are seeing right now is that when they see, for example, I'm going to redirect. I'm sorry I'm going everywhere. I'm not giving you a whole lot of time to respond, but...
No, you're good. You're good. You're rolling. Don't want to stop the rolling thunder.
Halo guy. Love him. He's a fantastic dude. Loved meeting him at HCS in 2023. He's just a really, really chill individual. He posted on Twitter, he quote tweeted the reveal of reminder reveal of Edge of Dawn. Halo 2 was still like a sequel to Halo CE, despite First Strike being the connective tissue in the center. As such, Edge of Dawn's release doesn't mean we aren't going to get a true sequel to Infinite. That's fair. But what people are concerned about here is, based on what I'm seeing in the replies, that Halo is not treating the books like additional content anymore. They're treating it as essential plot lines to understand what's happening in your overarching story now.
Boo!
Yes. So let's say, for example, Halo First Strike. He used that example. First Strike is a phenomenal novel. It is up there in my top 3. It might be my number 1. I don't know, because Empty Throne was really good too, so that's almost my number 1. But First Strike takes place immediately after CE ends. It takes place while Chief is still in that longsword flying through space. And, if you play Halo Combat Evolved to Halo 2, you just think, okay, Chief probably flew back home. Nope. This guy hijacked a Covenant ship. That ship was taken over by Cortana. Cortana harnessed the plasma cannons to turn them into one-shot machines. They flew into slip space. They reunited with a couple other soldiers. These guys took on entire Covenant fleets in a weird warped version of slip space that was making shots rebound around them, and it was really cool, very fun design and all that. They survived all of that. They conducted Operation First Strike to stop the Covenant from finding Earth and all of this, and cool. That's great. That's additional content. But then you get Halo 5 to Halo Infinite. Novels that would explain what happened to Cortana. Epitaph, for example. You aren't really going to understand why Cortana is even there unless you read Epitaph. You're not going to understand where the Didact went. If a fan told you that Didact didn't die in Halo 4 and you only played the games, you'd be so confused. And that's why Shane, for example, is a person who hates that Didact died twice in a comic and a book.
In a comic as well?
Yes, he died first in a comic. Master Chief banished him to the domain, basically, using his little, I keep forgetting the name of the devices, but the thing is that allows you composers. He had a bunch of composers that all fired at the same time, and it was so much power that even Didact's composing resistance couldn't stop it, so he was sent to the domain, and then, it was something along those lines. He has been effectively removed from the story twice. And
they really didn't like that guy.
It sucks because he's a great character. But that's kind of where this all ends up, is the necessary context to understand a lot of the most interesting parts of Halo Infinite and Halo 5 to some degree exist within novels. Whereas with the original series, the novels that existed then, Contact Harvest, took place at the very beginning of the war. Halo The Fall of Reach gave you some extra context as to what happened with The Fall of Reach, of course, and the origin story of the Master Chief, but didn't step on the toes of any of the games. They were just sort of its own story. And it gave you a little bit of context as to what happened with CE. Reach stepped on a couple toes there. 343 did a really good job patching up those things to make it so that it's believable that both of these stories can exist at the same time. You get novels like First Strike, Ghosts of Onyx, these sort of stories that expand a whole lot on what happens in between these games, but are also going off and telling their own story. And 343 has had stories like this before, like Ryan Forge, the Ace of Spades trilogy. everything that happens with the ferrets. There was a period of time where they really were more interested in just telling stories that were happening off to the side, away from everything that was happening in the games. But now it seems for the last, like, 3 or 4 book releases, they are much more interested in tying in these novels directly into what's happening with the books and making them, if you want to enjoy your game properly, you better read. And that's where a lot of these problems that people are voicing, because I'll read a couple of these replies here. That's where I think a major difference is, by the way, with the Halo guy thing, is that the first strike connective tissue between 2 and CE is just additional. The connective tissue between Infinite, Edge of Dawn, and whatever comes next, that's the thing that people are worried about, is that they're worried that Edge of Dawn is going to be like, you need to read it to understand what's going on next. Because it does take place immediately after Halo Infinite. Also, they already revealed that Jaga or Domni is alive in the random promo, and I don't like that. And yeah, it was just a random promo post. And
why would you have any kind of story advancement in a promo?
Well, to get people to buy the book, probably.
I honestly, my own brain answered that question as soon as I said it, but yes.
Because, like, this is the thing, right? I'm cool with the idea, because Jaga didn't really have a character. He has a character if you can read. If you can read, then you can find all of his stuff about, he was a silent shadow. He participated in that operation that in the animation Headhunters, he was one of those elites that got blown up. That's why he's missing his arm and leg. He's a blade master, not a normal guy. That's why his suffix is I and not E, because, that's just how it is. And why does he still keep the I suffix? I don't know. I thought they got rid of those after the Covenant. It's a Sangheili, like, aristocrat thing, I suppose. And that's kind of it. He deserves a little bit more characterization, because every single time that we have a new character, it seems like 343 likes to immediately throw them out in the next title. So, sure, why not? We'll give Jay and Jagar Domni a little bit of a spotlight. But because he technically, like, by the perspectives of people playing games, unless they really make the excuse, well, he went into active camo, I heard the sound effect when I killed him, so he just went into active camo and I didn't kill him. He didn't die. You have to really stretch there. This is the confirmation that he didn't actually die when you killed him. Mm-hmm. If you only think that, then Jaga's just gone, and now you're going to be going into this book. And what's the likelihood that Jaga's going to survive this novel? Because from the perspective of the players, he's already dead.
Yeah.
So let's do this again. If the connective tissue says that Jaga survives, they have to either make it so that Jaga stays as a book character forever, or risk confusing every single player in the next Halo title if Jaga continues being a character. Because you killed him, but now he's back? I didn't die. Somehow Jaga returned type beat.
Is there a story team to any of these?
Yes. Yes, and they are the ones making these decisions. That's why this is such a controversial topic.
Oh, boy.
Uh-huh.
Like, why just put things all over the place? Like, I understand that you want books, you want to sell books. Fine. But maybe do, like, a little side story, kind of like... Oh boy, I'm trying to think of a side story for a character from Star Wars. Those two guys at the bar that. Oh wow, I am brain farting hard here.
You got this.
I can't remember their names, but the one dude got his arm lasered off.
Oh yeah, I think they do have a book.
They do, yeah. That's a perfect excuse to make a book right there. To like some side character. Like there's so many characters in like Star Wars that have their own interesting stories, but you got to go out and look for them.
Yeah. Now, this is the thing, right? I need to address this part as well, because what we have said...
Thank you, Fat Batman.
What we have said so far... Really? Wait, he was a doctor?
Evidently.
Dr. Evazan and Pando Baba.
Like, I was watching Rogue One, and the person I was with that totally went by them, like... Oh, they're from episode 4. And they're like, oh, no way. I'm like, yeah.
That's
like, that's cool.
So we've addressed this so far as, yeah, there is a very realistic reason as to why people should be concerned. And we've used as much information as we possibly can to prove that there is some reason to believe that you shouldn't be throwing in very important plot lines into your novels. And this is only really a talking point because players do believe that they're missing valuable context if they aren't reading these things. In fact, Halo Infinite's multiplayer, you're not going to know the ending of that story that they were setting up if you don't read Battle for the Academy Part 1 and The Coming Part 2. You're not going to know what happened because they canceled those cutscenes and turned them into written works instead. It's cool. I'm glad that they're finishing them up, but these are not the kind of things that you can expect players to consistently do. I am very curious about what the web analytics are for Halo Waypoint. How many people are actually visiting whenever they post something like that?
Mm-hmm.
It seems to me that the biggest problem that they're running into is that the franchise team is trying its best to keep Halo's pulse going while everyone else is working on whatever comes next.
Mm-hmm.
Because the franchise team goes crazy whenever there's a game out there. Like, they'll go nuts. They'll throw in all sorts of connective tissue. They'll throw in all sorts of beneficial additional stuff that really helps to understand the game without stepping on the toes, usually. But then Halo Infinite comes around, and essential stuff is put into things like cannon fodder posts. And it's like, okay, you guys are doing what you can. I understand. It's a difficult world to market in, especially when Halo is not carrying the relevance that it used to carry. But these aren't the directions I think that should be made. These aren't the choices that I think should be made. And setting that aside, though, because while that all is, that's my perspective, I would like to think that you share it in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And probably many of the people listening right now do understand where we're coming at from this. Because it's not something that says that, like, we hate what Halo is right now. We still play it. It's just there are situations that prove that something is not being addressed properly. Something is not being led properly. And we describe it in a way that makes it so that it's not just a matter of saying we hate it. It's a matter of saying we understand that there's something going on and there's a reason why these things are happening. There's a reason why players want the game so bad. There's a reason why they unconditionally will not read these novels and will unconditionally hate them. So then this comes to, I address the community.
Yeah.
Y'all are crazy too. Connor, would you like me to read you just, let's say, like the top 10 quote retweets from the cannon fodder reveal of Edge of Dawn?
I'm down.
Okay. From Scab. Why don't you just off already?
Off to a great start.
Another user says, why does Halo keep telling us about the lore instead of showing us the lore? They could have books based in the Halo universe, but it's always linked to the current thing instead of its own thing. Make it the cool, important stuff. He didn't say stuff. A game, not a book. That's real. That's a reasonable response. So far, we're off to a reasonable response.
I bet I could be friends with that guy.
F you, John Halo. Somebody please tell 343 we're not in the 1800s, that there are many other media types where they can tell stories, video games, for example.
Yeah. Like, the fact that we're even, like, I don't like pushing this meme forward, but GTA 6 has put content out for their game. The last thing we saw was at HCS, and that was moving to Unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's it. There was not even a confirmation that what they were showing was anything attached to their stories.
Yeah, we've got GTA 6 news. Continue.
Yes. Then we have, wouldn't it be cool if Halo was a game series? I know it's a hot take, but I feel a jump from books to games for this franchise could be a good idea. Another one says, Halo was a book series with really high quality video game tie-ins. And
how much engagements are these getting?
Quite a few. Can you just make an effing game instead? And F this, dog. I'm done with Halo.
we don't kind of like that last guy.
And see, that's the situation here, is that what
you're losing players due to inactivity at this point.
What I need to remind everyone is the opinions and perspectives of those online do not even come close to addressing what the actual people who are out there playing these games believes. A vast majority, if we're going to talk about user base, the user base of Halo is small in terms of its online presence. There's a fraction of the people who are playing Halo Infinite that actually actively use social media to either further their own social status or to interact with other people's social status. So the majority of the people that you're trying to please are just people that are trying to play the games. And if you're trying to play the games and you don't understand what happens in a story, or you have to go somewhere else to understand what's going on, then you've already turned off a lot of the players that are in there just to play the games, especially in the context of most of the current players that are still playing probably remember a time when you could turn on your 360, play some Halo 3, you get curious about something that happens in the background story, so you go to Halo Waypoint app, still on your 360, And in this fully curated environment where all of this cool stuff that's a spotlight of Halo's community and a spotlight of Halo's lore, you can just go and select it. Or, even so, maybe you're playing Combat Evolved Anniversary, you scanned enough items enough times, you can just go into the in-game lore section and read about these lore pieces.
Oh, hi, Cat.
Where did she come from?
I silent.
Hold on, let me grab her.
Yeah, normally you can hear that cat come down the stairs. Not this time.
She's a ninja. Here you go, chair. So, with that being said, that's kind of where I'm at here, is that, yes, people are unreasonable in a lot of ways. They're angry. But I don't think that the anger is baseless. I think these are the words of people who represent a much larger conglomerate, a vast majority of what Halo's audience represents, that just want to play the games. And it's not bad to want to play the games. If you're a book guy, you shouldn't shun people for not wanting to read the books. There's a lot. There's 37 Halo novels. That's a lot of novels. That's a lot to read. It's kind of daunting.
It's a lot of catching up to do.
There's a reason why there's like 3 separate guides about how to get into the Halo novels.
Imagine just getting into Harry Potter. You watch all the movies. All right, book time.
Yeah, it's slow.
That's it. No,
it's very slow. Like you can't do it. There's actually there have been. Let's honestly brief thing there. Halo Potter. Harry Potter readers have actually voiced in the past that they hated watching the movies because they had an image in their head of what Harry Potter looked like, and as soon as they watched it, they can only see Daniel Radcliffe now. But that's the thing, right? There's a separation that needs to be involved. And 343 Halo Studios, they are very, very impressive with how they've been able to take every single medium that they can possibly do. Animations, short films, TV shows-ish, all this other stuff. Video games, books, comics, short stories, online blogs, down to straight up just like the occasional lore post on Halo Waypoint is all canon. And they've done that in such a way that it actually retcons very little. Yes, I know there are people out there that will point out every single thing that it retcons. I want you to take that list that you have and compare it to Star Wars. Just step off, you know what I'm saying?
it hurts my... I think they should do a little bit more retconning in Star Wars.
And by this point, it seems like they're confusing themselves. But that's the situation that we're in, is that Halo is kind of nearing that point where if they keep on trying to make it so that their audience has to interact with everything, you're going to end up with people that are... It was nicer when to interact with Halo, you could enjoy it without having to go out and look at other things. It was nice to just be able to play it. Making it so that it's almost a bar for entry to be able to read these things and have the willpower to go through and learn about this stuff on your own time. It's a cool, expansive world. If you're not at least making it so it's all accessible within the Xbox itself or some sort of app, like Waypoint, it's a cool website, but you took off the forums. You took off a lot of the things that we used to love. A lot of the old canon fodders are just gone. You can't access them unless you have archives, which Halopedia obviously does. There's too much that they're relying upon from their audience that I don't get it. I don't think that it's going to be the right move. And I don't know. You as a person, Connor, who enjoys playing the games more than everything else.
Yeah.
Is that something that, like, have you ever had it to the point where you kind of feel like you have to ingest other content to understand what you're talking about with Halo? Or is it just, do you think that you're comfy with sticking with... Have you felt peer pressure, basically, to go off the games?
I was about to say, for me, myself, if I want to ingest more content, it's not going to be in a book. If it's in a little animated series, that's cool. I'll watch it. TV series, I'll watch it once. If it's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, to go away from the games into a book, I personally, I'm not a huge book reader at all. Like, I barely read books in school. I barely read books even in college. I'm not going to read a book. I'm just not. It's not my medium.
And just as a way to point this out one more time, statistics. We have to take that into account. And I'm sure that someone higher up has better access to statistics than I do. But if your possibly most popular Halo novel, the one that was worth bragging about, The Fall of Reach, got a total of 1 million copies. And Halo's video games peak at like 14 million copies sold for like Halo 4. You have to really think about whether or not you should find it necessary to make it so that your novel is required reading for your game.
Like, just sitting here thinking about this, I was thinking to myself, the people that are playing these games probably have a lot more free time to do things.
Mm-hmm.
They're probably not going to want to read a book. Like, I know me back in the day, middle school me, I'm playing video games for hours on end. I'm not reading a book at 7th grade me, no.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm playing video games. If anything, I might watch an animated series.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at. I think that's a pretty solid place to stop off for the time being. I think that... What are you laughing at?
Someone said, "Who's the guest tonight?" And then Slip just goes, "Connor."
Yeah, no guest tonight. We're just doing our show. But yeah, if there's any other considerations that you guys have towards what's been going on with this whole like Edge of Dawn announcement and folks' reactions to it, how Halo's lore crosses over and how it seems to us anyway that lore is becoming more and more important to understand what's going on with Halo, where gameplay and genuine cutscene and campaign writing and all that is kind of going out the window. Like, where are your perspectives with that? That's where our questions will lie. And then, of course, the final statements of, if you are someone who is in this community, it is like highly possible that you're just someone who liked playing the games. You don't want to have to go and read the books. It's cool that Halo is that big because that means it's probably big enough to go get some pretty cool figures from time to time or a Mecha Construct set every now and then. But you're not going to go and read the books because it's not that very interesting to you.
Yeah, I watch anime. If there's a story advancement in the manga, I'm not reading it.
There's that. That's a pretty good comparison, actually.
I will wait the years for the next season to come out.
That's a solid comparison. I'm not gonna lie, because that's kind of where it all ends up at. Is, let's say, for example, I have gotten, I don't even know how many messages by this point from listeners, comments on the show, DMs, people who have popped into our general chat who have been like, "Hi, I'm this many years, too many hands to total up to their age." And I have not touched Halo in like 5 or 10 years. And I was just curious about where it's at. And you guys make learning about this stuff entertaining, and it made me want to go back and play the games. Note the lingo there. They didn't go back and read the books.
Yeah, the games. Oh, I tuned into the show. I want to read the books now.
Yeah, I tuned into the show. I get what I need to feel excited about Halo again. I'm just going to go play the campaigns because that's what people are remembering. A very large portion of the community are still those people. Now, what we're coming up on next is likely going to be mostly esports focused based on how we're seeing with HCS being this massive push. It's been a push for like the last 4 years, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. So if there's any other perspectives that you all have out there, feel free to pop into our general chat. Just say hi, say your opinion. We also have the Let's Talk Halo if things are going off in a general chat, like Helldivers becomes a conversation or something,
or just food or anything that can and will happen in a general Discord chat with over 1,000 members. I haven't checked how many members we're at recently.
1,092.
Wow.
Yes. So always feel free to drop in, have a good time with us, because we're still hosting regular game nights, regular events, and all sorts of very fun stuff happening in our community. And speaking of our community, here in a second, we're going to head off into our Patreon segment. And, if you're done, then feel free to just hop off and join us next week. We'll probably have Shane back at the very least.
Yeah.
And otherwise, as per usual, JumperScape.com if you want to find that Discord link or if you want to find ways to support us. Patreon has been going crazy. You guys have really been a very, very strong backing for a lot of the things that we want to do because we've been opening up a whole lot of new opportunities. There is a possibility. I'm just saying we have sent off a pitch now to the HCS organizers for a very special thing that we would like to do in collaboration with them. They were interested in hearing it, and so the conversations have finally begun. So we're going to see if we can make something like that happen.
I can't wait to hear about that in our group chat.
I will tell you, I promise. So otherwise, my friends, stick around if you want to get some more of the Q&A and Patreon stuff. And otherwise, we will see you next week. Connor, play us out.
See ya.
Patreon. You can't take a breath for that one. Let me just get
getting ready.
The usernames all refreshed up here. Make sure that I got them all here because I'm sure that they have picked totally normal names that won't make me very, very concerned. Absolutely, right?
Isn't there like one guy that like I don't think you've been able to say his name for like months?
Oh, I've been able. Yeah, there was one. There's a guy who. I have a couple of those actually. There's usually always like 2 or 3 people that have a username that I can't read. Either because of something that was written in there or because it's just too long and it's an old joke, like the I Don't Want a Lot for Christmas one.
Oh, yeah.
Because that one is still there and it's the entire song up until the character limit is reached. So like, I'm not going to say it every time. Anyway, here we go.
7 Deadly Payments.
Starting off with, yeah, that's based off of, that's a book club thing, actually. We were reading Wages of Sin last week. So Wages of Sin, 7 Deadly Payments. It's a great username. Starting off with our $150 tier chroniclers, we have Buck, Scion Esports, it's D4456. Guess what? Your nuts hurt. Hounds of Meath, James's respawn timer. Doot. Lactating Puppy Monkey Baby, Rogue, Noah Willette, the one, the only, Dick Hammerbush!
Yeah!
Cool Blaze, H Ghost, Drone with a Chair, Spartan Bucos, U156, Stable and Stable, Connor Clock, Dapper Dame, Dylan, James is disappointed seeing Healy father-in-law, John Dowsett, Lactating Gear, Lactating Milk MT, The Lactation of Mercy, The Prophet of Diabetes 4. Thomas Lane, Sky Cairo, Durandald, Eva, Flyboy Pfeiffer, Jake Zamelli, Lone Blaziken, and my name is Austin, Prophet of Truth for President of Super Earth. Fun fact, my ship in Helldivers is called the Prophet of Truth.
Mine's the Prophet of Destruction.
Good. I still love your little tagline, free of thought.
Dude, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, I'm not changing it.
It's so perfect. Puppy Monkey Baby, Hive Mind. Random Sweed saying Healy Syphilis.
Whoa!
That's so good.
Hey, yo.
That's fantastic. Straight Communication, Slap Nuts, The Big Mood, Cellular Lactation, Tika Vatamai. Anyone want to sign up for the Sanshium Eugenics program? They really do have a eugenics thing going on. It's pretty bad.
You know, before we started, I was going to say, I feel like they've been slacking a little bit. I would like to rescind that thought.
Apologize, man. Aussie ODST, Austin's not the same without the boys. You're right. I'm not. I'm much more it's not that I'm like different. It's just more like I am more soft spoken and I am much more like professor talk than I am, shooting the crap.
Playing off that one guy's name with the respawn timer. This ain't a safe place. They're not here.
Same. It's because of the cat. It's because the cat's here.
The cat's here.
Although that would be your respawn blocker.
Yeah.
Because you're allergic to the cat. Aussie ODST, Austin's not the same with other boys. Yeah, I read that. Brain Rot, Damian Groth, Ethan, get out of here, James. Ginger Boy Head Ass. I've been busy, Austin. Anyway, how's your day been? ? It's been great. I'm glad you asked. How's your day been, Connor?
It's been all right.
It's good. I'd like a large pozole with extra cheese. I'm huffing the ongoing methane tanks. Kev Gold Lactation and Truth. It's coming back. No, it's not. Laughing Sam, Meme Lord, Pity 104, Sanghili Shingles Sufferer, number 29.
Jeez.
I guess we're just picking some unfortunate conditions to have today.
Yeah.
The Chaplain, UNSC Pharaoh, Raccoon, It Burns, Apple on Wall for Christmas, Apple Juice 01, Boomerang, Bro Tartarus did not appreciate my JBL speaker, Claude's Park 5970, Coyote, Dangle, Muskrat sold the index for space drugs. Drunk Silvari, Fish Dough, Halo Defiance, the movie, coming November 15th, CE's birthday. Listen, I know for a fact that Phoenix Affliction would just lose it if someone was like, yeah, we took your idea for your book and made it into a movie.
I just feel like the fact that was even mentioned, like someone out there has woke up from their sleep and is just, A bad idea has been mentioned.
Halo Defiance is just, it is that duology of episodes is some of my favorite stuff we've ever done. Iskari, Kiriko, Holy Matt, Jeremy, Mike, my name is Aboard, and I already did that one. I'm not doing it again. I'm sorry. It's so funny, though. Nara Nomad, Parabot Emeritus the 5th, Posture Rocket Mechanic, PFC Dustin Echoes, Ryan Hansen, Sergeant Johnson, Stick, and the Communal Rock, Schnoogans, Spartan Alex 30, Type 2 Sangheli Diabetes. Wilma, Cameron T, Chains, Prophet Lactation, Sangheli Side Boob, Spartan Dave, and last but never least, Warm Apple Swow.
The warmest.
Indeed. So as per usual, like we've been doing, if you guys end up having any questions, then feel free to raise your hands after we're done with our with reading through the Q&A section, and other questions that you cannot raise your hand for and pop into the chat here in person. Then just pop your question in, and Keith will mark it for us so that we don't miss it.
Yep, you can text it, or if you can text it if you're afraid of stage fright.
Indeed.
Yep.
So I've scrolled up. I believe I've gotten to the actual top of the questions. So sorry for those that I skipped last week. I didn't realize it. Give me a number.
9.
9 it is. 9 questions. Silver Nightwolf asks, okay, but there actually is a damn difference between left and right Twix. Okay, this is from last time. If Chief were to die...
That's a statement.
Yeah. If Chief were to die, what Spartan could replace him? Jerome. I still say that. Out of the Spartans that you know.
He's already dead.
George takes over.
Back from the dead.
I fell into slip space, Spartan. I survived.
I got blown across the whole star system, landed on a planet.
You could find out about that journey in the latest Halo novel. If you could build your own currently living 5-being strike team, who would it be, and what if the deceased were included? So you can say George.
Yep, George, yep.
5-man strike team of any beings.
Any beings?
Yeah, it just says beings. Currently living and deceased, I'll just include that. But yeah, 5-being strike team.
Chief, plot armor reasons.
Okay.
George, for obvious reasons.
Of course.
Atriox, gotta have a brute in there.
He's the muscle.
Yep.
Looking at your cards for characters is wild.
Bassus. Base. I've got to be butchering that.
No, it is Bassus. You're right, but just picking Bassus as a character is wild.
It's a brute. You gotta have him.
Well, then if that's the case, then you gotta say Pavium.
He was next, actually.
Oh, sweet. There you go, Pavium.
Pavium's next.
So Connor's fire team consists of 3 brutes and 2 Spartans.
I think I'm at 4.
You picked Atriox, Pavium, and Bassus, and then you had George and Master Chief 5.
Oh, did I say Atriox?
Yes.
Oh.
For the muscle.
Honorable mention? Or didact?
Just the actual didact on his strike team. That's crazy. What do you know about Samuel 034? A lot. He's dead. Next question. That counted as just one because it was all in one message. Roblox. What? Rogue Xbox Luminary asks, what's your favorite Covenant land vehicle and why? The chopper, because it makes me feel awesome.
Yeah, it's got to be the chopper.
It's so cool.
If I see a lineup of vehicles, I'm going for the chopper most of the time.
And
Unless the Mantis is in there, it's going to be the chopper.
And if you're in the chopper and you see that line of vehicles, you can just barrel straight through them.
Yep.
It's the best part of the chopper. Silver Knight Wolf is back again, asking, even though the Arbiter helped us kick the Covenant's ass, should he still be held accountable and punished for his actions during the war? What about other leaders? Yep. And he was.
Yeah.
In a novel.
Stop!
Yes. He was held accountable for his actions in a novel. The Peachy Lion asks, would you watch a Lego Mega Bloks Halo movie? I have. If y'all have not watched Battle for the Brick, a very, very old Lego stop motion animation, you gotta watch it. It's like 30 minutes long. It is so good. I'll show it to you someday, Connor. I'll sit you down. I'll make sure you can't run.
I was about to say, I know I'll watch that with Austin at some point.
It's such a good time. But would you watch a Lego Mega Bloks thing? Does that sound like something that you would imagine Halo? I mean, they almost did a Mega Bloks game.
On my own time, probably not. With the boys, I'd be down.
A couple beers. We like to have fun beers.
Yep. I want more.
You know what, Connor? I will give you one. Yeah, I'll give you one.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The Fat Batman asks, what is the Didact's go-to karaoke song? Golly. Oh gosh, what would it be? I just got an achievement for adding reactions to messages. His go-to karaoke song.
See, you know this character way more than I do.
Well, I mean, look at him in that card. What do you think? Brothers Intense. He'd be singing Hurt by Johnny Cash.
I would love to see the pizza pie song. I don't know why. I could just see it. That was the first thing that came to mind when I looked down.
That's awesome. Senator Fox on the back of Fat Batman goes, what's Sergeant Johnson's go-to karaoke song? He's probably he's a fan of the classics. So, and he was listening to rock.
Lose Yourself by Eminem.
I was probably going to go for he'd probably be I don't know, based on the music he was listening to, he might be a 3 Days Grace kind of guy. I don't know.
Nah, he's just in the chopper, waiting to be deployed.
You better lose yourself in the...
Just hanging out the side.
Keith G077 asks, do you think we will ever get more information on Bornsteller and Chantagreen? No, and I don't ever want to.
Who?
Book characters. But actual book characters that deserve to be in a book.
Okay.
Because it's side stuff.
Okay.
Bornsteller makes eternal lasting, and Chant to Green.
I don't like that question. That doesn't count.
Okay. 4 more then. Raya Mama Dama asks, do y'all think Dr. Halsey was a little sad about the death of Jacob Keyes? I mean, a little.
Probably.
They
all know each other. They work together.
They banged. They made Miranda.
They worked together.
And got busy. Halsey probably was a little sad. I mean, it's probably the same way that she was sad about Miranda and all of that, because she was like, oh, I'll just shed a single tear because I'm an emotionless monster. But I still love Halsey as a character, so. Silver Nightwolf asks, is Tempest going to kill us all? If we're talking about the esports team, probably. If we're talking about the AI, no. She has a different priority, a different objective, a different utility that I will not explain at this time. Stay tuned for Tarkov Halo Story Season 2. Harley asks, we like to have fun here, or hic ludificare placid nobis. Is that
That sounds Latin.
It's Latin. I don't know how to pronounce a lot of Latin stuff. I have to usually sit there and practice it to really understand it. But yeah, is that
a question?
Is that, I mean, I don't know. Is that Latin for we like to have fun here? I don't know, man. Silver Night Wolf, 3 more for you, Connor. And Silver is back asking, who are the top 3 crap talkers in all of Halo? Well, we got to put Johnson as number 1.
Yeah.
Honestly, Prophet of Truth number 2. Because, cowering in the dirt, thinking what? That you might escape the coming fire? No. He was bad, man. He was real bad. I have a third one, but I'm going to let you... we have to play through the campaigns.
Yes, we do.
Emil.
Oh, yeah. That is a good one.
He's angry all the time. Next question comes from... I actually can't see the username because we're on streamer mode, so I'm sorry about that. Let me actually just disable it real quick. Oh, it immediately makes a sound. That's funny. Vig the Pale asks, how does Halsey take her coffee? Straight black. She doesn't have it any other way. I'll make that not count, Connor. 3 more again. Spider Ceridia, what pet do you think each member of Blue Team, including Samuel, would have? Do you think any of the Spartans ever wanted a pet? I think the Spartans probably didn't even think about the concept because they probably just didn't think about it.
They all got their pet Marines. They go out to the battlefield, they adopt one for ammo reasons.
Genuinely, I think Chief would be the kind of guy to, specifically own a cat that's been through stuff. A cat that's got a broken nose. Obviously, has been in a couple street fights with other cats.
The 3-legged cat.
Yeah, he would do that. Kelly would probably be a bird owner. Linda would definitely be a bird owner. Or a cat.
I'd say cat.
Fred would probably go classic German Shepherd.
So that's a Fred dog.
Yeah. And Samuel would probably be like a pit bull owner, honestly. But like he'd be one of those owners that like the pit bull is confusingly tame.
Like it's got the most like vicious name ever.
Yeah.
But the dog is just a teddy bear.
Yes, exactly. Like it's a cuddle buddy. Until Samuel says sick him, then all of a sudden, you know.
Face rip off or yeah.
Slapnuts asks, since we have the grav hammer and energy sword to use in Halo, what other kinds of melee weapons would you want to be able to wield in Halo? Connor, I'll let you go at this first because you've seen a couple different concepts.
I can't just think of something without going off the rails.
Go for it.
All right. Let's take Kratos's
okay, we're off to a good start.
his chaos blades. I'm going to get roasted by someone, but
I think they're actually called that.
Oh. Replace it with grav hammer ends.
Not even like blades, it's just hammers.
No. One that I've thought like I've been sitting on making my own little fan fiction for a while, and I really got to get back to it. But one of the weapons that I really wanted to come up with was a grav hammer with big stick, one on each. Oops, sorry, Kenny. You get the big staff and a grav hammer on each end.
Oh man,
I think that
sounds fire. Actually,
I think that has some room for some potential.
Well, if we're talking about the stuff that I was thinking of, honestly, in the same vein of fan fiction in a way, because Tarkov Oni Files, Jane's episode has a brute chieftain by the name of what was his name that I gave him? Amdusias. He wields gravity knuckles that are like brass knuckles, but they're charged with gravity tech.
That just sounds really bad for the joints.
They're brutes. They're fine.
Sure.
He bodies a whole group of ODSTs with them. It's honestly really cool, and it's a fun little visual to have in your head. I really want an animation studio. Anyway.
Yeah, I think I still stand on the double-ended gravity hammer.
Silver Nightwolf asked like 3 questions in a row and like kept on coming back to the Q&A the same night, just an hour in between.
I have an idea.
So I have an idea.
I have another idea. I just watched that movie with my nephew the other day.
I love the memes that are coming out of it. It's so funny.
It rhymes with, oh God, what was his name?
Grug. Yeah, I actually did that. It was we were having a short infinite game night over the weekend, and I was like, I call that a triple kill. Rhymes with Grug.
Rhymes with Grug.
So I'm going to answer all 3 of these just to get these out of the way.
In a minute.
It's wild that was Nick Cage. It does not make any sense to me. Like Ryan Reynolds and Nick Cage both being in that movie both catch me off guard horribly. First question is, what do you think the galaxies would be like? What do you think the galaxies would be like if the precursors were actually still around / not the flood? They technically kind of are, but not very much different because precursors are kind of they're kind of Abrahamic in the way of they create and then they will occasionally interfere, but they will mostly just leave us alone. What do various random characters do on their own downtime? Cortana, Chief, Romeo, Forge, Keys, whoever else pops into y'all's heads. Are we saying like conceptually what they actually do? Because
I think they like read books and train. That's about it.
Cortana thinks herself to death. That's what she did in her downtime. Romeo tries to sleep with generals' wives and daughters. He did that.
That's more fun than a book.
Forge has a loving wife, so he probably just hangs out with her.
Sounds more fun than a
Keys,
book.
Yeah, Keys is a very well-respected officer. He's probably inspecting his ship. He's
always, or just standing on the bridge and just ore farming.
That's what we call puffing his little smoke pipe. And Chief in his downtime, I mean, Chief, we already see it in Halo 4. He's just cleaning his weapons, making sure everything is up to par. He never gets any R&R. If he does, he gets sleep, maybe eats, maybe eats. It's kind of it. He just kind of gets geared up for the next thing.
Just stares at a wall until the orders come in.
And then last question, what do the various alien species taste like? I think we've gotten this question before, but I will still entertain you. So, Connor, I'm going to let you. Grunts.
Oh,
There is a
boy.
relevant video in general chat that was posted just the other day that is related to this.
What would we have done this before? Now that I'm sitting here with the thought process again.
And we had some pretty good answers for it last time, but I want to see how you specifically answer it because James mostly answered it last time.
Yeah, I feel like grunts would taste like chicken. Chickens are plentiful. Grunts are plentiful.
And you know, like chicken is just kind of the default flavor for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, jackals. They are avian. They're like birds.
Oh boy.
Also relevant. Wait.
Oh,
Come on. Play, please.
That's horrifying.
Yes, but it's a very funny little video. This is what AI should be used for: is goofy little things.
Yes. I already pulled a bird out. We'll go with turkey.
Turkey. Okay.
Yep.
Huragok. The big engineer floaty guys. They look like jellyfish.
Oh boy. Beef, or I'm thinking of a meatball.
They basically have like no meat on them.
I know. They're like a little ball that flies around. So I'm just thinking of meatball.
I was gonna go with like blue raspberry jello.
But yeah, sure.
Brutes, tough, probably gamey.
Let's go with probably tastes like steak.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let me think a little bit. Okay, the drones. They're bugs.
No. I've only ever eaten a bug like once in my life, and it was like I was in middle school, and it was like one of those prepared like cricket boxes or whatever.
Yeah.
That, like a cricket.
Like a cricket.
Probably salty.
Was it good though?
It was all right. I'm not going to do it again.
When you get past the mental separation, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Sanghili. Probably even more like tough than brutes.
Oh man, I'm running out of animals here because I'm trying to like keep up with animals I've actually eaten.
Yeah.
This is the first thing that came to my mind, but squirrel. It's a real tough meat.
You've eaten squirrel?
Yeah. I have like when I was in early high school, me and my brother, we would go through our yard, through the woods, and just hunt squirrel.
That's wild.
Yeah, we processed them and everything. Very hard skin to get through, actually.
I mean, everyone does something in their downtime, I guess.
It's been a while. Oh, rabbit's pretty tough to get through as well.
Okay, that one's understandable. I was not expecting the squirrel thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's pretty much everything for the Q&A channel. So I got about 5 minutes. If anyone wants to raise their hand or drop a question into our lovely little side channel here, then please. Oh, Spinus Iridia, please come on up. Say hi.
So have we not mentioned pork? I was saving it for something that seemed more accurate.
Hello, Spinus Iridia.
Okay, so I forgot my question, like as you said my name.
Happens to the best of us.
It does. It does happen.
Give me 1 second.
Oh no.
You can take me off, and I'll be back.
Okay. Very cool.
I can relate to that. I can relate to that pretty heavily.
That's just funny.
Okay. I remembered.
He's back.
He's back and he remembers. Okay, speak.
Okay. So, had an idea. Just like y'all talked about ideas for like potential Halo games, novels, and such. I had an idea for a short story, kind of based like on some planet that's getting attacked by the Covenant, and there is an ODST fire team that gets deployed, and most of the fire team ends up dying, but there's one guy that is still fighting and still trying to save the city, and he gets injured, and then there is like a kid, like a younger teenager that like tries to help him, like he's walled up and he's bleeding out, but this scared kid who doesn't know what's going on is like trying to help him. What do you think?
I mean, I'm usually of the mind that if you have an idea, then you deserve to have your idea tried. So of course, give it a shot, even if it doesn't work out the first time. I think it's a great premise. I'm always down for. It's sort of like how with Underworld with Installation 00. I was so down for it because it was a civilian story. The little guy, I like that. So if you end up pulling that off and you write like a couple chapters, brother, drop it in the Share Your Creations channel or something.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love that people are coming up with new ideas for this sort of stuff. I didn't know you were writing a fanfiction, Connor. I really didn't.
I started a long time ago, and I think I have like about the first sentence done.
That's still crazy, though.
I still have like the entire basis of the characters and everything in my head. I just got to put it down on the paper.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for that, Mr. Suridia.
Oh, remember I was asking you about names of how brutes work?
Yeah.
That's where that came from.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense. I was like, why is he wondering about this? Yeah, the us suffix is fun. Most of it is just biblical stuff. But I got 2 more minutes. Anybody else want to really quick get their hands up before I jump over to grabbing as many of these questions as I possibly can from the chat? Cool. Okay. That was the final call. But I will quickly answer, like, Keith, if I have to scroll up, can you, like, repost, like, one of them, if there's any other ones aside from what Dom just asked? Q&A asks, do you think, Dominic O'Brien asks, I should say, sorry, do you think that the premise of Halo Defiance could be good if given to a more experienced writer? No?
So you've read the book, not me.
I've read half the book.
Oh.
I kind of dropped out at some point. I just the premise of the novel starts off kind of interesting. The concept of it being like a basically it's Spartans that have been deployed to assist a nearby human colony that's about to be attacked by Covenant forces. The Covenant forces just so happen to be underneath Thel Vadme, so that means he's going to be there. But there's like this inner conflict happening between the fleet master Thel Vadme and the shipmaster beneath him, who's upset that this fleet master became fleet master so young. Like, what did he do to earn it? That sort of stuff. And so there's that internal turmoil happening. The problem is the majority of the story is happening on this. Can't remember what the name of the planet is that he used, but he used this planet, and it was the majority of the story. Is just how this colony is going to deal with getting attacked by the Covenant. And while I was reading, I'm like, that solution wouldn't work. That solution wouldn't work. I don't know why you're even mentioning that one. And it was like, I don't think that it would be good. I don't think it will work out no matter what, because the premise is dependent upon you making it all about this planet. And for the most part, Halo has been wise to not spend too much time on the individual colonies and how they muster their defense, because most of the time it doesn't matter. Most of the time they're just going to get bodied within a day. And what we worry about is more, what are those battles as a result of? Like, what are the important factors doing? Like other planets that we've seen in novels before that have gotten attacked, like let's say like in Silent Storm, where we had a planet under attack. And what we cared about was how the Spartans dealt with it, because there was some character interaction happening there. That's why I don't think that Defiance would really work out. I do like the idea of what he was trying to get at. It's just the focus was in the wrong place. So, and along with that, the story itself just didn't carry enough weight. It wasn't important. Like, the story itself wasn't important. I knew that these characters were going to all survive, and I knew that if there was going to be any characters dying, it was probably going to be the characters that he introduced himself. And all of the other stuff that was like in between, I'm just like, I don't know how this is going to influence anything with what's going on in the grander Halo universe, because that's usually what you have to do. You have to try to tie in. If you're going to do a Halo story accurately, you have to try to make it so that it can somehow tie back into the larger narrative. these smaller things. It's not like Star Wars. Star Wars, you can get away with telling these smaller stories that don't have to do anything with the grander narrative. But if you're doing Halo, it has to tie in to some degree because everything that happens with these characters has to be important because it's just kind of how the story has gone so far. It's that kind of storytelling. It doesn't have to be obvious, but it does have to kind of be there. And this book didn't really do a good job of doing that, in my opinion. That long answer out of the way, I've got 3 more. I think, yes. Are you guys excited for Fantastic Four? Is the question from Spinus Iridia. I am.
I didn't even know they're making another Fantastic Four.
You didn't see the trailers?
No.
The First Steps movie? It's got Pedro Pascal who's being typecast and like everything right now.
I mean, I'll watch it. Just because I watched the first one when it came out.
It's not the same characters.
I know, but still.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic. I've lost my luster for Marvel a long time ago.
Yeah.
Slipstream asked, would the Huragok technically taste like copper or something metallic? Probably. It would probably just... It might not even taste like anything because if you eat like a jellyfish, it doesn't taste like anything either. Rye, sourdough, or bread from saltgrass? I don't know what saltgrass bread is. Sourdough, though. I'll pick that. Rye is not that good. Austin, why are you hating on the lactation? I'm scared of you guys.
Whatever happened to Gator?
He's around. He's just a busy guy.
Okay.
But just to clarify here, one of the reasons why I have been like, please don't, is because I will always remember when Halo follower himself showed up in our general chat and immediately got flooded with a bunch of milk stuff. And he was like, he DM'd me like, what is this about? I'm like, I can't explain it. I'm sorry.
Where did the bread question go?
It was rye, sourdough, or bread from saltgrass. I don't even know what saltgrass is.
I want to try out something I've never heard of. I'll try the bread from saltgrass.
Sick. Last question here that I'll answer is, do you think, from Dominic O'Brien, do you think Halo could be adapted to a Last Airbender type of show? What do you mean by that? Like animated anime or like?
I think in huge chapters, maybe.
Well, I just don't get what do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, because I don't get it. It can't do the Last Airbender. Master Chief is not like a chosen one. The adventure. Well, I mean, if you want the adventure, then just go like read Ryan Forge's trilogy. Like, it's basically the same thing in a way. If you want the adventure type stuff,
I think in an animated series it could maybe work out.
If it was gonna be, listen, if I was gonna get an animated series of anything, which Halo works best in animation, and I don't want us to stick too closely to live action going forward. If we're going to do an animated series, it needs to be something that's like in the same nature as Clone Wars, not the animation style, although that'd be probably fire, but in the same nature. Because the Clone Wars, before we knew anything about the Clone Wars that happened like in that time frame, we got like maybe a book. We got the Republic Commando game. There was a couple bits of context. We didn't know what really happened from start to finish in the battle, though. The Human Covenant War is 27 years long. We have 3 books, I think, that take place at the very beginning of the war, because we have Silent Storm that takes place at the very beginning. We have Contact Harvest that takes place at the very beginning. We have Oblivion that takes place at the very beginning. We have freaking Fall of Reach that takes place at the very beginning and a little after at the end. We have Battleborn, which is trash. And most, if not, pretty much nothing, maybe Broken Circle touches a little bit on the middle of the war, but pretty much everything that happens in between, from like 2531 to like 2551. No idea what happened in between there. All we know is there was a war. And I'm kind of like, well, let's get some context there then. I don't need it to like retcon stuff, because that was the concern that CIA from Halopedia gave me. He was like, well, Clone Wars retconned a lot of things. And I'm like, dude, we don't even have books about what happened in between there. At least Star Wars had books about what happened in the Clone Wars.
The 03 Clone Wars getting basically retconned. It's still my canon. Mace Windu did that to Grievous.
And, actually, straight up, you could say that, because that part specifically has not been retconned. Never.
I thought they did the whole show, but not that part.
They did the whole show, but not that part. But the portions that the Clone Wars reboot never touched on are still canon.
Huh.
Yeah, so he technically still crushed his chest and caused him to start coughing.
nerfed him.
Yes.
That was the hardest nerf of any character I've ever seen in my life, because 03 Grievous, monster.
Shaggy, why? But that's kind of where I'm at with that, is I want a show that goes into more context of what happened from 2531 to 2551, because it's a fascinating point of time. It's a nice opening for those who want to tell a story in between, like I did when I wrote Tarkov, a Halo story. I made a story that takes place in 24, what was it? Yeah, it's 2545. And it was a nice little spot in between where I didn't step on anybody's toes. There are things that happened. There are moments in time. There are pieces of lore. There's no consistent storytelling about what happened in the battle, though. And I want that. I want the start to finish context of what happened in that war, because it is one of the most, if not the most interesting part of Halo's canon to me. Plus, maybe that would mean that I would get more context as to what in the world High Charity is and what it's like there. Because I could have really gone for that. I love the little tidbits that we get, like in the terminals, where we get to see what the city streets look like. Brief little glimpses of something super cool that we never get to actually see. Anyway, that's pretty much it for all the Q&A and such. I don't know. Play me out again, Connor.
See ya.
The library was produced and published by JumperScape Audio. Funding was provided by our fantastic patrons on Patreon. If you enjoy the show and wish to support JumperScape's future projects or get some sweet benefits, join our Patreon at patreon.com/JumperScape or become part of this truly special community at discord.gg/JumperScape. Thank you for your listenership, and we hope you enjoyed.